10864. Stations your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a presentation of Learfield. Welcome to Duck Insider.
Our whole athletic department, there's a level of expectations of success.
Throw, catch, touchdown, Oregon.
He can run and slam.
This is back out for a three. Left wing is good.
In the air to center, back at the wall. It's out of here.
Really excited that we get to rep our Ducks and hopefully come back to Eugene with some championships.
Indoor track and field national champion.
Oregon repeats as the Pac-12 champion.
And for the fourth time in the last 6 years, the Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
We have so many teams that are excelling right now, and it's really fun to be a part of.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Thank you, everybody, and a happy Tuesday. We had our Oregon football kickoff special presented by Graduate Eugene last night. It was a lot of fun. One, being around all of the great Duck Athletic Fund members and season ticket holders up in Portland. If you missed the broadcast, you can subscribe to the Oregon Sports Network podcast. Jerry and Jorgie talked with Mario Cristobal about a number of different topics. Yes, they did discuss the quarterbacks, and Coach Cristobal met with the media after practice today. We have that interview for you coming up, in addition to Oregon Volleyball head coach Matt Ulmer, because their season starts this weekend. And H.J. Cohn is here, Senior Associate Athletic Director for the Duck Athletic Fund. And we begin, of course, H.J. It's been a really slow news day.
Yeah.
The Pac-12, ACC, and the Big Ten have announced today a historic alliance that really focuses on bettering the student-athlete experience. And, well, it's basically a scheduling arrangement. And I'll tell you what, you give me a Big Ten and an ACC opponent on a schedule every year, and you play the Pac-12 schedule, and, well, H.J., as a fan, I'm kind of excited for that.
Yeah, no, there's been a lot of feedback online. I think there's the great questions going around already, the instant reactions of who would you like to see, what opponents, and so forth. And so to see that excitement and, to really look at the future of college football between our three conferences, and what ultimately came together was an alignment based on academics, athletics, integrity, really is an exciting time for the future and the foreseeable future. I think one of the commissioners on the press release today announced X amount of games are already scheduled between 2021 and 2035. I want to say, 68. So it's not like we're not doing this. Obviously, it's no surprise. We're going to Ohio State here in a few weeks and have a number of nobody's thinking about that. A number of games in the future for all three conferences, but to officially have an alliance and ultimately an agreement, a handshake agreement, which I even think is better. I think that just says a lot about what we're doing, is certainly exciting.
It's all about student-athlete mental and physical health, safety, wellness, and support. You can read about all the bullet points. So one thing that they wanted to hit on as well, social justice, gender equity, strong academic experience and support, diversity, equity, and inclusion, the future structure of the NCAA. And I think that's important. Everybody knows, and Commissioner Warren even said it from the Big Ten today, that this is a dynamic time. We've never seen a more fluid time in college athletics, and it makes sense.
I like that they're open and talking pretty freely about the reality of college athletics right now. I think, we've seen a lot happen in the last couple weeks or month. Frankly, multiple months when you talk about name, image, likeness, and Oregon wants to be at the forefront of that. We support it. We have people inquiring about it and how can we be a leader amongst college athletics and the Power Five especially, and I think we're certainly on our way to do that. So to see the alliance come together and what will ultimately come of it down the road. I think people want things to happen now. We're in a now society. It'll take some time to get those games scheduled just due to scheduling conflicts. We're not going to break contracts, but long run looks very strong.
I love the fact too that everybody came out and said we're not going to break contracts. This isn't a let's blow it up. This is maintain the model. That's what they're trying to do. There's a lot more details to get into. We'll get into more of them over the course of the show today and tomorrow. A lot to unpack, but I think the point is that these conferences believe in the model, and these conferences want to play each other, and they want to support the student athletes, and I'm all for that.
Absolutely.
Did I miss anything?
No,
there?
that's great. Just another Tuesday.
Yeah. And then, it was just another Monday yesterday, recapping a lot of what we digested all from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Fans, if you didn't see it, you can head to GoDucks.com. You can see more of the details of how a game day is going to look at Autzen Stadium. That's something that I want to talk with you about today,
Sure.
Jay. There's been a lot of thought. There's been a lot of pivoting. There's been a lot of adapting.
You got all the buzzwords. You're taking all my words.
There's been a lot of innovating. There's been a lot of synergy. There's been a lot of synergizing. Is that a word? There's been a lot of teamwork, collaboration. I joke, but I actually think a lot of these are pretty darn important. A lot of thought and energy went into these new updated policies. We went through them yesterday. Again, you can read them in detail on GoDucks.com. Those of you who have questions, ask them. HJ said that he's an open book, which I always appreciate.
Yep.
We answered some of those questions yesterday. We'll get you as many of those answers as we can. What should fans know? Let's just start there. What do you want to start with?
I think a couple things that I want to highlight or hit on is a huge thanks to Lane County Public Health. They've been a great partner since the pandemic began. And, a lot of this is Oregon Athletics rolling it out, certainly. But a lot of this is guiding principles from Lane County Public Health and University of Oregon IMT comms. And so when you factor in Dr. Ludke's team, we're really just excited. And when you look back a year ago to be in this position to have fans in the stadium, I know for our student athletes, our staff, our department, we are thrilled to have fans just like we had for softball and baseball into the postseason there, and track and field, Hayward. We're just excited to have fans in a way that most, I'm going to say 99% can attend games. Is it going to be easy? No. We're going to face some challenges that people across the country are facing. Labor shortages. It's going to take more time. It will be a new game day look. But at the core principle, and I'll call it the pageantry of college football, that first Saturday in September is going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I can't imagine just what I felt being in Autzen Stadium. It was eerie, but it was like, man, it's great that we're back in here last year.
Yeah.
This is just a whole nother level, I think, for everyone.
Yeah, and, again, it'll take longer time to get in. Give yourself time to get in the stadium. I can't stress that enough. We opened 2 hours before the first game, which is 9 o'clock. Gates will open. I know a lot of people have been questioning what's the process going to be like? It's going to be similar to what we did at the Olympic trials. There will be a dedicated check-in area outside the gates for a vaccination status, a negative test within 3 days of the event, and then you'll continue to move forward like a typical gate entry. Mobile ticketing this year we're really excited about. I understand and hear people and their fears a little bit, but we've gone through change before. Years back, we implemented a clear bag policy, no reentry, and some other enhancements, and that's been well received. We had the tax law change in 2017.
Right.
That changed college athletics. And again, I'm confident in our fan base of what they can adapt to. And if anything's shown that COVID as a whole, our society is adaptable. We're going to persevere and push through. And I would say the overwhelming response we received after Friday's announcement was positive, looking forward to it. Is that going to be for everyone? No, I'm not. I get it, right? I'm not going to be naive here. But at the same time, the overarching response and very well received.
Persevere is a buzzword that I missed. That was good. Did you have
That's
a checklist
true.
in
No,
your
I mean, you talk about, and forget Oregon athletics, right? Talk about your family. Talk about your job. In our case, Oregon athletics, but your job. Talk about your friendships and relationships. About what's going on in our society right now. It's scary, whatever word you want to determine it. But I will say we continue to persevere, and my approach, my aspect of what I'm going through my head is way above half glass full. I mean, I'm so thankful for family, friends, checking in, and again, selfishly, I'm excited for Duck football and Duck volleyball this week.
Me too. Yeah, Duck volleyball coming up again. Matt Ulmer is going to join us a little bit later on. He's HJ Cohn, Senior Associate Athletic Director for the Duck Athletic Fund. One of the things that came up yesterday is a lot of fans were asking, okay, so I can either have my vaccination card, I can have a picture of my vaccination card, and then there was conversation, HJ, in the comments about, okay, there's an app out there that I can use.
Clear app.
All of it's open, right?
Yep,
you can
absolutely.
Use all of it.
Clear app. I mean, personally, what I would do is I would just have it on my phone, a picture of it. I don't want to bring my actual card.
Yep.
I don't even know how you'd go about replacing that. I don't even want to think about it. So
Me neither.
I would have it on my phone. And again, we understand there's going to be some speed bumps, right? We are in somewhat of a labor shortage for a typical game day at Autzen.
Yeah.
That's going to impact concessions. That's going to impact gate entry, a number of things. But again, that Oregon Athletics is not the only one seeing that, right? One of my favorite restaurants is now closed Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And that was like, whoa. And he's like, yeah, it's a real problem, right? And we're all trying to address it. So I would ask for patience, support, love on one another. There's a lot of, differing opinions. And when you look at, and I've followed social media on this in the last couple of weeks, there's venues, sporting venues specifically, that you're seeing some activity that you just wouldn't expect. And so I hope our fans, and I have confidence in our fans, that they're going to get out there, cheer on our Ducks. We've been over close to 2 years without this. And so, again, I'm thinking half glass full, more than half glass full, just excited to be in the venue and celebrate what we all enjoy.
Yeah, all guests ages 5 and over required to wear a face covering inside Autzen Stadium per direction from Lane County Public Health. And I'll just say, differing opinions aside, if this is what health officials are telling us is the way that we can have a football game and get back to all being in Autzen together with your Duck family,
yeah,
I think we're all for that.
Yeah, and I, again, reiterate, I'm trying to track it from multiple outlets, whether it's social media, emails, texts, in-person conversations. People are very excited, and to have the opportunity, and is it going to work for everyone game one? Maybe not, but I think long-term, the, again, general response that we're getting is excitement, great job of implementing this. Again, we're somewhat of a conduit. We're taking the guidance of the experts at Lane County Public Health and Oregon IMT Comms and really getting it out there and trying to make a path forward for fans to attend games. Again, fans is one thing. Our student athletes can't wait to have Autzen rockin'. I can't wait for our fans to see our new scoreboard and new sound system. Some of them got a glimpse of that at the season ticket holder scrimmage that happened a few weeks ago. It's exciting.
Don Essig's never going to sound so good.
We won't tell him that.
I told him that.
No, I don't want to give him too much credit. I want him to get a little nervous because that sound system's cranking. I want him to get butterflies before that first game, but no, Don's going to sound great on it. We're excited.
I love that. Yeah, you know, they always say, like, in broadcasting, if you don't at least get a little nervous, then you don't care enough.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same in public address.
We got to film. We got to get Don filmed the first time he gets to say it back in Autzen with fans. That would be pretty special, not only on the new sound system, but talk about a guy who has, such a place at Oregon football. Similar to Jerry Allen, they just have a special place when it comes to creating memories, decades of memories for our fans and supporters and season ticket holders. So to get Don on film that first time, it would be pretty cool.
Hey,
not to give you homework or anything, boys.
I was going to say, I think we might be able to pull that off.
Yeah, that'd be pretty neat.
I think if Scott LeBounty is tuning in, I mean, I can imagine there's going to be an ISO cam now on Mr. Essig. Maybe his face is going to be on that big scoreboard.
I hope so.
When he
Rightfully
makes that
so.
announcement.
We cannot wait to hear those famous words from Don.
One thing that I wanted to hit on, H, and go through some of the details, too, for fans, and we've tried our best on the show to cover it, but it always is nice to hear it from the expert because that is clearly not me. Mobile ticketing. This is something that we've talked about. It's kind of been trending in that direction in the industry. Now we're going full in, and I think it's time for fans, if you're not familiar with it, try to get comfortable with it. Log into the GoDucks Game Day app beforehand. What would you recommend for fans on that front? Yeah,
familiarize yourself, certainly. I would say we have a team of experts that is willing to help. Phone call away from our ticket office managers and ticket solutions and retention staff. We have a group that is ready and have been walking people through, whether that was going and setting them up via a Zoom and walking through it step by step or over the phone. We have a way to get people on board. The other thing I would reiterate is this is not just Oregon athletics.
Yep.
It's funny. I had someone I was working with that was, I'm going to call it in the category of I really don't like doing this. I know I can. I just don't like it because it's change, which I understand. That's real. But he also orders his Starbucks off his app every morning, and I'm just sitting there like, okay, come on. I know you checked in on Alaska Airlines, got your Starbucks app, and when you got in your seat, ordered your Amazon product. All right, so there's ways to go about it. We're certainly going to help as best we can. But I would also, mention that we have a lot of fans going to Ohio State. They are a full mobile only.
Yeah.
And that's not Oregon Athletics can do anything about it. That is so. We can try and get with it the first game or something here, but if you're going to Ohio State, get ready. And if you're going to other Pac-12 schools, they're all mobile as well. Yep. So it's certainly not Oregon only. It is a national trend. It's a societal trend. There's a lot of reasons behind it versus just, we don't want to print tickets. The savings on printing is not that much, I can assure you. This is not a budget issue or decision-making. It was really, when you think about the safety and integrity of tickets and getting passed around, the efficiency of, okay, now my buddy just canceled. I had already mailed my ticket to him. Well, now I got to go to the ticket office, get it reprinted, void it out, and then go drop it at the hotel for the new person versus the tip of my thumb. I can just do click, 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 boom. So there is a lot of pros to it. Again, I understand it's change. I completely respect that. But I think in the long run, as people do adapt, I think it'll be a positive.
GoDucks.com/mobile tickets. Your resource for everything that you'll need on that front. GoDucks.com/mobile tickets. You hit on entering. It's going to be a little bit different. Mashofsky Center will be closed for the first game, but I want to reiterate that everything except mobile ticketing is going to be evaluated on a week-to-week basis. Correct. Right?
Yep, that's right.
That means that stay tuned, and we'll be able to talk about it and update you on everything. And we hope that the updates are trending in the right direction. That's
Absolutely.
what we're all for, right? Stephen just said with a nice comment, I can imagine when they play Shout in the third quarter, Autzen going to rock with that new sound system. I mean,
that will be pretty fun. You got Coming Home, you got Shout, you got just a lot of in-game traditions that we kind of forget about watching it on TV for a year. And so to get those back, and when you look at the past couple of years with our student athletes and the football team, reacting to Shout is kind of engaging and really fun for this collaboration of a whole venue versus just the fans and it being a tradition for us. Our student athletes, like I said, the environment that the fans bring, I think really was put into perspective when you're playing in front of an empty stadium. Yeah. We had the Prefontaine Classic the other night, and we welcomed back over 30 medalists from track and field world
amazing?
From the United States. That was the coolest thing. They said, we're listening to them on the way out to the shuttle. They're sitting there giggling, jumping for joy because that was the first time they had fans that actually were able to say congratulations.
Yeah.
Because they're at the Olympics and there's no fans. And so for them to actually feel like, wow, we really did it, it was actually a bigger deal at Prefontaine Classic than at the actual ceremony, the awards table.
Man, it's like a delayed medal ceremony.
Yeah,
almost.
no, it is. I mean,
wild.
It's exciting.
We're going to get a quick timeout. We haven't hit on concessions. A couple other things that I want to talk about with H.J. Cohn, who's here with us, Senior Associate Athletic Director. So more to come. Also, Coach Cristobal. Heard from him after practice today. His thoughts on this new alliance. We got to come up with a better name for this thing. We'll get there. We'll get there. All right. When we come back, more with H.J. on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
These are the sounds of a dinner. A dinner that almost didn't happen. A dinner now served, thanks to people like you. Due to COVID-19, 17 million more Americans may face hunger. Feeding America is helping our neighbors in need. And if you're able, you can too. Donations are being accepted at feedingamerica.org/coronavirus. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Feeding America. 200 food banks strong.
It's time for today's STEM tip. Okay, you know recycling is important. No one wants plastic in the ocean. Here's a cool way to repurpose a plastic bottle. Build an awesome terrarium. Cut a large plastic bottle in half and fill the base with sand, pebbles, potting soil, and your favorite plant. I chose an African violet. Put the top of the bottle over your base and place it in the sun. Your plant will grow sealed in its own ecosystem. Fun, right? Learn more at She Can STEM. A message from the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union inside the Country Financial Studio. He's H.J. Cohn, Senior Associate Athletic Director, kind enough to join us. We'll be going through all of the different scenarios and new policies and an alliance between three of the major conferences. More on that coming up. A few other things that I wanted to cover with you, H. Let's maybe start with clear bag policy. That's still in effect.
Yep.
There was definitely, I think, some transition there, and now I think everyone's like, oh yeah, I got this down.
Yeah.
And now I think ticketing's like that too, right?
You look at, we're going to send out to the Ohio State ticket purchasers, I think today, maybe at the minimum this week, just all the details pertaining to Ohio Stadium, I believe it's called. They don't allow any bags.
Yeah.
None. So all of a sudden I'm sitting here like, our clear bag ain't that bad.
Yeah.
You got to bring in a water, a sandwich or something. And so, again, there's a lot of these in our industry, from concerts, athletic venues, and festivals and so forth, all the a lot of those are different at each one, but relatively all in the same bucket.
How often do you and your colleagues have conversations, not just with other like athletic folks, but you mentioned like concerts and just venues in general? How often are you kind of talking with people that run those sorts of things, and you guys are always kind of in step with each other?
Yeah, I would say during COVID, significantly more. You're certainly tracking national trends, and then you're tracking West Coast, I would say, trends, if you will. So I'm in contact myself, and Jimmy Stanton are in contact with a lot of our Pac-12 peers, just like Lisa Peterson, Eric Rodell, and even Rob Mullins at the AD level. And then you're watching, they have certain national panels. It sounds weird, but the one I follow is focused a lot on WWE.
Oh, really?
And just they're a pretty well-ran company and forward-thinking. And so when you look at what they're doing, they can kind of give you a glimpse sometimes. So a lot more during COVID pertaining to tickets, now pertaining to game day festivities. What does it look like? So I think a lot more now than we historically had been.
Wow, I wouldn't have thought of WWE, but that's a good
I
one.
know you're a Triple H guy.
Well, we don't need to get into too many details, but
I love when I can catch him when he's speechless. That's perfect.
Like, God,
I love it. I win.
We were going rapid fire. We were doing. That was good. That was. You know what? That was. Yeah. That deserves a fist bump. That was good. Well, we covered a lot of things. One other thing I wanted to hit on was concessions. We've yet to talk about that, and that's another one. Everyone, I want to remind you that, like, this is all going to be evaluated on a game-to-game basis, but concessions will look a little different this year.
Yeah, they will. Again, one, on the labor shortage. We're not going to have every single concession stand open as of right now. We hope to increase that. Two, like we talked about, mobile ticketing all ran through our GoDucks Game Day app presented by our friends at Pepsi. Thank you. They're awesome supporters of that, and that app has really gone into play and into effect in the last year. But even within the app, you can do mobile ordering from certain concession stands. So, again, some people enjoy the waiting in line and want to get – that's part of their game day tradition or whatever you want to call it. Others are going to say, I don't want to wait in line for health and safety purposes, for one, but two, I don't want to miss the game. Well, now I can go in on my app, order right then and there, and then in 5 minutes just go grab it and get back to my seat. So long term, there's a lot of positives that could come out of this as people continue to change their habits and game day routine.
Yeah. Shuttles, just a quick reminder for everybody, Lane Transit District unable to provide Autzen shuttle service this year. More details are on GoDucks.com, but First Student has jumped in. There's going to be 3 park and ride locations, Valley River Center, Lane Event Center, and Pacific Source. The Autzen shuttle still just $5 per round trip, a great way to get to and from Autzen Stadium, and it limits parking a little bit. Parking lot's going to open 4 hours before kickoff rather than 6 as in a couple years past. 4 hours before, gates open 2 hours before. Give us a little bit of extra time. Give yourself a little bit of extra time. Things are going to look different, but we're going to play some football this fall.
Absolutely. And the parking lot, ironically, regardless of any changes, was going to open 4 hours before because of an 11 o'clock kickoff. So at 11 o'clock kickoff, even in years past, it would open 4 hours before, 7 a.m. Again, evaluating on a week-to-week basis. So may that change if we have a 4:30 kickoff, I think, Stony Brook?
Yeah.
Is it go back to 6 hours? I don't know, but we're certainly going to watch all of this on a game-by-game basis, and we hope to continue to increase our efficiency after the first game, second game, and moving forward.
He's H.J. Cohn. He's a Senior Associate Athletic Director here at Oregon. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Did we miss anything?
Are we already done? Jeez, I'm flying today.
What else should fans know? Anything?
No, again, really can't say enough how excited we are to get fans back from multiple levels, from the support of our student-athletes, what it does on a game day experience, volleyball this week and football in a couple weeks, but also excited for the fans just to continue to be there, to be part of our Duck family. Saturdays pertaining to football are really special. I don't think that's any secret. And Autzen Stadium is one of the best venues in college football. So to be back in Autzen all together, just ask for patience, love amongst everyone, and support, because, again, with the end goal being we're all in there together with one common goal in supporting our student-athletes and cheering on the Ducks, I'm pretty excited.
Last thing that I want to hit on, Jeffrey saying one more time just for the ordering concessions and with things trending that way, the GoDucks Game Day app, same as your tickets, same as your audio broadcast. I always say the GoDucks Game Day app is basically your modern transistor radio because you get literally everything that you could ever want, including a broadcast of Jerry and Jorgie. You can listen to them call the game. So things are definitely trending in that direction. The GoDucks Game Day app will have you covered. Fans may continue to bring prepackaged food and sealed non-alcoholic, non-glass beverage containers into the stadium. I think that's key. Water station's still going to be around, and this is all going to be adaptable.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
We're going to pivot. We're going to adapt. We're going to persevere. Synergy.
Synergies and
corporate
whatever
buzzwords.
word you used earlier.
Thank you. H.J. Cohn, thanks for telling me.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right,
Appreciate
we're going
it.
to get a quick timeout. When we come back, let's hear from the head man, Mario Cristobal. He talked to the media after practice today. Coming up next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome to Toyota's National Sales Event.
Thanks. I've been waiting to get a new Toyota all year.
Well, right now we've got exciting offers on our lineup of 2021s, like Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Tacoma.
Highlander! Jan, do you mind watching Chance?
Oh, okay. Listen, Chance, I run a tight ship, so I don't want any funny business. Who's a good boy? Toyota's National Sales Event is on.
Current offers end September 7th. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Toyota, let's go places.
What's with Mountain Dew? Mountain Dew is like a zipline of incredible flavor directly into your brain. Mountain Dew is like getting punched in the mouth with pure neon refreshment that creates a neural explosion, sending flavor shards of electric brain pulses into your very core of being. Okay, maybe that's a little over the top, but you get the idea. The fact is, the mind-bending challenge of describing the taste of Mountain Dew is way harder than just experiencing it. That, of course, is easy. Just grab an ice cold Dew, crack it open, and toss them back. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Neil Armstrong waited 6 hours and 39 minutes to step onto the surface of the moon. Jackie Robinson waited 20 months to play his first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And even DiCaprio had to wait 22 years to win an Oscar. You can wait until your destination. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joy Mack here with you in the Country Financial Studio. My thanks to H.J. Cohn for taking the time to join us. GoDucks.com. Click on that red banner across the top. You'll have all the details. If you miss anything that we were talking about, going through all of the changes, we will continue to do that. And we understand that things are going to be changing, and we're going to be adapting with you. That's the plan here from the University of Oregon Athletic Department as we all continue to pivot and figure it out. My thanks to H.J. Cohn for taking the time. Meanwhile, today after practice, Mario Cristobal met with the media, the Oregon football head coach. Let's jump in and hear from the Oregon head man, Mario Cristobal.
Good afternoon. All right, wrapping up another, camp practice for us. A lot of the same stuff, a lot of really physical, situational work. You name it, we worked it today. And multiple guys got reps with the first and second team. Competition continues to be a big factor in helping us get better and improve. So that being said, questions?
When does this officially become Fresno State Prep Week?
Well, we are sprinkled in, bits and pieces of Fresno State throughout camp. Officially, there'll be a period dedicated to them tomorrow, possibly 2. That's a total of 24 plays per unit. And by Thursday, we'll be more full throttle on Fresno State.
Do you anticipate then on Thursday you'll have an idea of starters at every position that are up for grabs right now?
Oh, we have an idea now. We just never really come out and formally announce it. It's just believe in the respect of being able to sit with players and making sure that they hear from their coaches first and not read it on a blog or a post or something,
When does that conversation then happen, do you think?
Oh, next couple of days.
Okay.
Some will go, and quite frankly, there might be 1 or 2 competitions that go on a little bit farther, because guys are playing well, and the counter punches to them playing well are really good as well. So we want to respect that. We have plenty of periods against each other all the way through next week. We do all year long because it's the only way to keep developing as a football team. Because we have those periods, we can continue to evaluate and assess. And they'll have that opportunity.
Is boundary corner one of those spots?
It's been a great competition. Those guys have been really, really good. I mean, right now, if we had to play today, both those guys are playing. So just feel real good about the way a couple of other guys, Avante Dickerson really popped today. Made a really big play. And one of our good on good period. Well, they're all good on good periods, but one of our more competitive drills, 2-minute, playing some fastball, playing some mixed down stuff. Just really active around the football. Did a really nice job. The tight ends did a really good job today. All of them did, but particularly 2 young guys stood out today. Made some big plays, big catches, tough catches, getting the ball down the field to a couple of them. But all in all, just again, the team, I feel like we're progressing. We still have a lot of stuff we got to work at. The emphasis again being on execution, physicality. Always, we got to make sure that it's every single bit of us is physical. The perimeter, the interior, the O-line, the D-line, the intangibles of understanding that being a full-speed player is being a full-speed player all the time. There's progress there. Football shape isn't exactly where it needs to be yet. We still have 12, 13 days, whatever it may be, to get there. We'll get there. We got to keep pushing the tempo.
How's DJ reacclimated himself with the team, and what's his presence due to the competition there?
Good football player, a lot of experience, hard worker. He knows what to do, how to do it, why we're doing things that way. Certainly everybody's really happy to see him. He's done a really good job. And again, he's going to be a really good player for us this year.
One of the younger guys that we're seeing a little bit about in camp here is Jabril McNeil, trying some new things with him. What have you seen as far as his development here?
Well, today on special teams, he really popped. He's a guy he's so athletic, he's explosive, he can run, he's physical, he's instinctive. We played him on the edge, and he made a lot of plays even when he wasn't sure what to do. We played him at linebacker, he made a lot of plays when he wasn't sure what to do. He's getting his weight back too. He came in a little bit light, just barely over 200. He's at about 215, 220 now. So he's able to be a little bit more physical, just a really hungry competitor. It's the best way to describe him. So we're going to find opportunities and roles to place him in because he could help our football team.
The comfort there, with knowing what to do and, playing fast is really big. How do you feel like with the young guys, that comfort, just playing fast and laying it out there is kind of coming along here?
I think it's coming along well for a lot of those positions. I think we established it very clearly early on that playing time it's not a popularity contest. It's not a tryout. We really work and compete and assess so that on game day it's not an experiment. It's what we have seen and what we believe is the best for the team. I think our players understand that. We said at the beginning of camp, having all these areas where we could increase the level of competition is going to help us. It has shown, but we gotta, resiliency is something that, you like to have 80% of your team to be veterans, guys that have seen it, done it before. We're kind of the opposite this year, right? Almost 75% of our guys are in their third year or maybe a little bit younger, with last year being a half a season. They've shown some really, really good resiliency with all the things that we've thrown at them. And we're gonna throw more at them. And we have an agreement and an understanding that the only way to get them ready is to make this really difficult. There is no learning, there is no overcoming adversity by taking the path of least resistance. We got to present struggle. We got to present them with difficult situations so they can respond. Today we threw a lot of those situations at them, and the response on both sides and the back and forth was really, really encouraged by what we saw.
When Ajax has been healthy, he's obviously one of your best situational pass rushers. What have you seen from him that maybe he can take the next step beyond being a third down, 3rd and 7+ player for you, an all-around player for you?
We really like Adrian. He's a very talented guy. He's worked hard to get himself in really good condition, put some more mass on his body, and right now he is a situational player. And we've got to continue working with him to make him an every down player, because what he has flashed on 1st and 2nd down in terms of power, setting edges, destroying blocks is really impressive. But it's got to be consistent, and that's what we're working on. We're very encouraged with all the things that we're seeing, and we're going to press Adrian really, really hard, and we're going to test him to the max, because for our team to be really good, Adrian's got to play his best football consistently on every single down. So that's our commitment to him right now. I believe he's committed to it as well. Excited to just keep challenging him and see the result.
You mentioned having a younger team. What's some of the positives of having those young guys?
What are some of the positives of having some of the young guys? I don't think there's any negatives. I think that their best football is ahead of them. I think the older guys that they have in front of them have set some pretty good examples about what the standard is for preparation, for daily processes and operation. got a really bright future. They haven't shied away from competition, and they are being introduced to, after going through a pandemic year in their respective high schools, some of them, the other guys have been here for a year that were here for a pseudo camp, right? Pseudo training camp, and not really having an off season. They're learning the Oregon way, how we do things, and they've all attacked it. I don't like to use the word embraced it. They've attacked everything we've placed in front of them, because that's what we're going to need. We're going to need a very physical, very aggressive bunch of guys that do things the right way, and so far they've done that.
Coach, do you think you have more depth at quarterback than you've ever had since you've been head coach? And if so, do you think that will open up the option game a little more? Because I know you were limited when Justin Herbert was here. You hardly ever ran it except, last few games.
Yeah, we didn't run with Justin until the last few games. He had gotten hurt pretty significantly in his second season, and it was a decision we had made. He was probably arguably the best player on the field, and for us to be successful and win a conference, we were going to have to keep him upright, and make sure that we kept him safe, and our protections were good. Didn't run him as much, but ended up having some really successful, seasons with him. I feel like now, to your point, we have some guys that have similar skill sets in terms of they can run as well. The system that we have also has those pieces, has those parts in that aspect. So it is a talented room. It is a hard-working room. They understand the offense. It opens up a lot of stuff, just like you mentioned, and it'll make us a lot more difficult to defend, we feel. We feel that because they understand it, because they've worked at it, and because of the caliber of athletes, quite frankly, the supporting cast around them, from the offensive line to the slots, the guys out wide to the guys in the backfield and the tight ends, the supporting cast has taken another step in terms of talent and execution. I think that's a really good combination for us.
When CJ's been so vital to you guys for years now, Jim has talked about you don't want to take away, obviously, his tenacity and practice and all those things. Have you managed this preseason any differently for him than you've done before, where it's not a matter of responsibility for injuries that come weeks down the road or something, but just to try and, again, you're talking about keeping a guy upright when he's that important. Have you done anything different to try and keep him the ball, the rolling ball, butcher knives that he is, but also not let him get dinged up out there before games?
Well, one thing we know, and I think CJ will tell you, he plays his best football when he's practicing. If you try to almost treat him like a sacred cow, it just doesn't work. He doesn't get in football shape. He can't hit his top speeds. It doesn't fit his mentality or the culture. So we don't, we practice. Are there some times where we might pull a guy for a series? I think you'll see that. I think that's naturally maybe an intelligent coaching move, but I think the line is pretty clear. I don't think it's fuzzy. I think you have to do certain things to prepare a guy for a game. It would be a crying shame if for the first time he sees a cross blitz, it's game one, and he's never ever fitted up a protection linebacker coming full speed, or that he gets cut tackled by a guy in live action game one and he wasn't prepared for it because he's never had that exposure in a month worth of camp. So you make sure that you always do what's best for your team, for your players. They do have to practice live. On occasion, we'll alleviate a guy of a couple reps while we get maybe a younger guy or a second or third team or something else.
While you guys were out of practice,
you said you expected to be the most competitive fall camp you've had here. Has it lived up to that?
Well, we're not done yet, so we got to finish it. We need to challenge each other more. There's no sugarcoating it, man. When we go hard. It's the only way to get the best out of our players. They believe in it. They know we're a very full throttle physical operation. They know it's been the key to us progressing over the last few years, and it's going to be critical for us to completely just be physical, in great shape, understanding our systems top to bottom. And again, the competition has done that so far. We are a long ways away from game one. There's no way we can stop and say, hey, we've done a really good job. Let's pat ourselves in the back for a good camp. We're not done yet.
While you guys were out of practice, there was an alliance that was formally announced between the Pac-12, Big Ten, and ACC. Just any initial thoughts that you might have on a landscape of college football that's changing, especially considering you have an SEC team that's on the schedule here for the next couple of years?
Well, I mean, we schedule ambitiously all the time, and we're blessed to have a very powerful brand, and I think anytime the landscape moves like it's been moving, opportunities like this to be, in an alliance with such prominent programs and conferences and whatnot, it's just another opportunity to get our brand out there and elevate it that much more. So I know that just quickly thinking about it, you're looking at a lot of opportunities possibly in places where there's a lot of Oregon Ducks, right? We've got Ducks all over the country, and this looks like a tremendous opportunity to expand our footprint, expand and elevate our brand, be and go and compete in places that we haven't been before, and just continue doing things to elevate not only our brands, but our conference and, college football.
Something like this lends itself to the idea of the Pac-12 going down to 8 conference games from 9 if there's going to be an alliance like this in the non-con. Do you think that's beneficial for you and the program and for the conference to go from 9 to 8?
Well, I don't think I've thought that far into the whole thing. If you ask me about inside run, I'll give you in detail exactly what we did and how we did it. I'll have to get back to you a little bit later on this one, but I know that in the moments that we've had to meet as a conference and with our new commissioner, every single person walked out of those meetings very enthused and very excited and very confident that we're going to be in a great position, not only because of the enhancements that we feel that he's going to bring, but because we have a lot of senior-laden teams in the conference. The coaching additions that have been made in the conference and the way recruiting has been taken off for a lot of teams in the conference, this thing's going to be on a steady climb. So that's the best I can do in terms of that question.
Mario Cristobal, the Oregon football head coach, meeting with the media after practice today, and we go from one head coach to another because Oregon volleyball head coach Matt Ulmer is in the house. Sir, could you do me a favor, first of all, and just, hey, how are you?
Oh, excellent. You
ready for some volleyball this weekend?
Really am.
Yeah?
Yeah, very excited.
So excited?
Psyched out of my mind.
So we've started Oregon soccer season. Volleyball starts this week, and then football starts in less than 2 weeks. It's official. I mean, we're here.
Here we go. We're in it now.
You're in it now.
It's
so
happening.
Practice schedule's a little different this week, right? You're actually ramping up toward game time.
Yeah, we scaled back to now 1 in the morning, and some more film sessions, just trying to get ready for opponents. And we play 3 opponents in back-to-back days, so it's a lot of kind of cramming.
So is that the coach equivalent of cramming for a midterm?
The first week it is because you don't have film.
Yeah.
Right. So you're just trying to figure out the best you can from last year, and
sure.
And then you see them for the first time before you play them. So then you're really trying to now cram a lot of information in a short window. So, yeah, kind of it is. Yeah.
So I mean, is this the rush? You live for this, or is this the most stressful week because it's the first week, or is it both?
I think it's all. It's weird when you play yourself. It's hard to gauge because while you're winning points, you're losing points. So that's difficult when you do your exhibitions or things like that. So I think you're always just very anxious to see what it looks like against somebody else.
Sure.
So it's really hard to gauge how good you are. But from what I can tell, everyone on our team has raised their level. Nice. So I think we are in a better position than we were last year, and I thought we had a lot of success last year.
I mean, you were one of the last 16 teams playing volleyball at the end of the year, so.
It's positive.
I thought you guys were pretty good, right?
Thank you. I had nothing to do with it, but thank you.
I don't know about that.
I didn't win. I won 1 point all year. 1.
And which one was that?
The one challenge that Nunaviller didn't ask me to do. That was the only one. It's the only point I won.
Is she you said the one that she didn't ask you to do?
Yeah.
Is she the
I
one
didn't wait for her. She probably would have. I was already on it.
There.
Yeah, she was probably going to ask me.
She seems like the one that comes over and she's like, no, coach.
22 times she looks at me and says, challenge that. And 22 times I said, yes, ma'am, whatever you want.
And how many times was she right?
None.
Really?
I was over. I was over 21. I was 1 for 22, I think, for the year.
Wait.
Some crazy something.
I don't remember that.
I literally won 1 challenge all last year. 1 challenge, and it was the only time where I just did it myself. I didn't wait. I didn't ask anybody. I didn't wait. I was probably wrong, but I got it anyway.
Wait, I'm sorry. What?
Okay, to be fair, a lot of it has to do with the camera angles, okay, and whether they catch it or how clear it is.
Sure.
I think I won at least half.
That's where the broadcast network comes in for you. We're the hometown crew, right?
I think I won at least half, but.
So wait, what's a good rate? Do you know? 50-50?
Not 1 for 22.
What?
I
know that.
But it just became a joke. It was like, no, Matt, just don't even challenge anymore. Yeah.
I mean, that seems.
It got to the point where I gave the signal to the official and I go,
That seems like
you
a
don't even need to look.
statistical
It's probably a
anomaly.
waste of your time. But
It seems like a statistical anomaly.
I agree. So I think this year I should even that out.
You should go
and
like
I should be like 21 for
22?
22, yeah.
Boy, I don't remember that it was like that.
You weren't at probably that many games to really remember.
I wasn't allowed to be.
That's my point. It was not an insult.
Yeah,
that was not like a diss. I wasn't like, yeah, where were you?
Wow. Boy, that really took a left turn.
It did.
Santa Clara, San Jose State, and Portland State are in town this weekend. We're going to break it down. I got to sneak a timeout in. When we come back, Matt Ulmer, the Oregon volleyball head coach, is here. And
I'll still be here when you come back.
I really thought that this was going to be a professional interview, but I should have known better
Why?
on the Oregon Sports Network.
1 for 22. That's like our interviews.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Is that the sound of an ooey gooey cheesy crunchy slice of P-I-Z-Z-A? Obviously. But as good as that sounds, we think it can get even better. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a freshly opened fizz-filled Pepsi. The only thing that can take this flavor medley of crunchy dough, mouth-watering cheese, and savory sauce to the next level. How about another bite? Pepsi and pizza sound like a match made in heaven and taste even better. Pizza, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s, like go back to college, learn to skateboard. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. At aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a free 3-minute chat with the friendly digital retirement coach, Avo, and receive personalized tips to help boost your savings. Start chatting with Avo today at aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse? Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon. Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Statistical anomalies, 1 for 22s. That's Matt Ulmer, Oregon volleyball head coach. You know, you are a statistical anomaly.
It's true. I was very short, and then I grew very late.
How many inches did you grow in
I was
high school?
4'11" going into high school, and now I'm 6'7".
Were you 6'7" when you graduated from high school?
I was 5'11" when I graduated from high school.
Really?
Yeah.
So you grew
5 inches my senior year of high school, no weight gain. 5'6", 135 to 5'11", 135. Then 6'4" after freshman year of college. 6'6", 6'7".
So you were the true example of guys grow in college and grow later.
It's the best thing for camp. You know, when you have a bunch of young kids at camp and they're really short and they have a hard time serving over or whatever. And I'm like, hey, how tall are you? Oh, I was shorter than you at your age. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, I'm telling the truth.
How tall are the cardboard cutouts?
Well, I don't tell them that my parents are 6'8" and 6 foot. Like, I don't
Sure.
tell them. Like, because they're like, oh, my parents are 5'3" and 5'1". You know, it's like,
You don't tell them that.
I don't say that part.
But seriously, how tall are the cardboard cutouts? Those are probably 4 feet.
Cardboard cutout? Where?
Well, I'm trying to say that you could give yourself a true representation of, I was this short, now I'm this tall.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I could find that.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
He's Matt Ulmer, the Oregon volleyball head coach. Duck Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union.
Very painful, though.
I'm sure.
The back didn't like it.
Hey, where's Flat Joey these days?
He's moved around, but he's back in Butler. Next week I'll get you a picture.
I have to tell you that our intern Jack.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, I saw you over at the arena a few days ago, and I was like, great.
Did he wave?
When I went, were you talking about the scrimmage at Matthew Knight Arena on Saturday? And he goes, no. Thanks, Jack.
No, I was at Subway or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. Portland State, 1 o'clock at Matthew Knight Arena on Friday. Santa Clara, 6 o'clock on Friday for Oregon volleyball. Santa Clara San Jose State will also play at 11 a.m. on Friday as well. The Ducks will also play San Jose State at 1 o'clock on Saturday. That's the big scouting report. And while you're going through everything, getting everything prepared, forget that for a second. Just how nice is it to be playing volleyball against somebody that isn't wearing an Oregon uniform and to have fans in the building doing it?
Yeah, I mean, just to see our fans, it really is. It's very special. I mean, I just think it's something you don't take for granted anymore, which we probably did. But it's just great to have our fans and to have that communication. And again, I said it last time, just the community piece. It was really missed. And just to see like the eyes light up of our student athletes when they get to see everybody and wave or throw a ball or later autograph or whatever it is. Just that interaction is really special. And again, I thought our group was really fun to watch last year, and people didn't get to see it in person. And our sport is it's so much more dynamic in person than we've been able to figure out on TV, or streamed. So it's something where I do feel like a lot of fans missed out, and so I'm really excited that everybody's back and now we get a chance to see them in person.
You like where your team's at as you head into opening weekend?
I do, yeah. I think we're pretty good. I think we're pretty deep. We're just so much more confident. We're just so much more mature. We do a lot of things very well. So, again, things can always go against you, and we can have a bad day. But for the most part, I'm taking my team. Yeah.
A successful weekend is 3 wins.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get there? What does your team need to do to execute that?
Yeah, do what we do. Be us. And anytime we've talked in the past, this last year and now, it really is about us. I think we have a lot of great pieces, and we play really good team offense, defense, and our offense has really come together. It's something we've really been working on. Our defense was record level last year, and I think it's even better now. So we'll see. You got to show up every day and bring your best and control what you can control, and I think we'll like what happens.
Couple reminders for fans. Things do look a little bit different, as you can imagine, with the new policies that we've been going through the last 2 days on Duck Insider. More details are on GoDucks.com. Click on that red banner at the top. Face coverings will be required all throughout Matthew Knight Arena. Mobile ticketing is here, and it's going to be here to stay. Get familiar with it. And volleyball, football, soccer, everything right now is all going through this. But for you guys, it's what it takes to play volleyball. That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's better than what it was last year.
No doubt.
There's less restrictions for us last year. Our players get to play without masks. As of now, like that's a great thing, for our players. It's a bummer not having our fans down on the floor. Yeah. That's an adjustment from 2 years ago, but again, it's better than what we had before, this last year. So we're really thankful for all the hard work that everybody's put in and sacrifices made so that this can happen. And yeah, I think our group has worked really hard, and they're just really excited to show off what they can do.
I got nothing else for you today.
That's it?
I mean, I had 3 other bullet points.
Where'd the scoreboard go?
Oh, he's writing it. We got an update.
What happened? What is it? What does it say?
So Coach Dillard, if you're watching, we have updated the scoreboard. Coach Ulmer, 3. Coach Dillard, 2.
I do think I deserve that.
I do.
It was yeah. It was a good zing.
That was
It was a good zing.
That was really well done.
Yeah.
I did not know that we were going to talk about statistical anomalies, and that led to an anomaly within the show.
That's true.
And it's just what we do.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that seems par
for
the
course.
How are you? Great.
You doing okay?
Yeah.
Good.
Look.
You look well rested.
Do I?
Yeah, your eyes.
Didn't sleep last night.
No?
No.
Wow. Why not?
Long story.
Do you need to talk about it?
No.
No time for that.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey. It's a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure. He's Matt Ulmer, the Oregon volleyball head coach. The Ducks open up against somebody that isn't wearing an Oregon uniform. Many of you have seen a couple scrimmages so far, but the Ducks will welcome Santa Clara, San Jose State, and Portland State to Matthew Knight Arena this weekend. Oregon Livestream has you covered for all of the Oregon matches. I'm really looking forward to it. Appreciate it.
Your hair looks nice, too.
Thank you.
Wow.
It was a good haircut.
It is a nice
haircut. Had to be done.
Who did it?
My wife.
I mean, I'm more impressed with her every week.
Well,
wow.
She hasn't left me yet.
That's amazing.
Really is.
Yeah.
Really is. We're going to take a break before he says something else on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
She's amazing.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at takesimplesteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack here with you in the Country Financial Studio. Your Toyota Women's Sports Schedule Spotlight, we've been talking about it, opens up for Oregon Volleyball, 1 o'clock against Portland State on Friday. That means we're basically going to be sitting here watching the volleyball game while Jorgie, Jerry, and I make picks. Can you believe it? We're making picks again. We've got Pac-12 football coming your way this weekend. And Duck fans, pro tip, Fresno State plays on Saturday. For Jerry Allen, Mike Jorgensen, Terry Johns, and I, this is a dream come true because as broadcasters, we get to watch Fresno State's game, make our broadcast boards, and it's way easier. It's like we never have an opening game because normally there's less information and you don't know which direction everything's going to turn with the depth chart, and it's not going to be that way this year. It's going to be pretty great. Oregon Volleyball starting up this weekend, though. Friday, 1 o'clock. Friday, 6 o'clock. It's Portland State and Santa Clara, respectively. And then San Jose State in town, 1 o'clock on Saturday for the Oregon Invitational Tournament, taking place at Matthew Knight Arena this weekend. Thanks to Matt Ulmer. Thanks to H.J. Cohn. Thanks to Mario Cristobal for the time today. More on the Big Alliance. What are we going to call that thing? We'll talk about that tomorrow on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found